I don't know how to say it that looks best on camera.
But this doesn't look good, but you're dealing with it. Going for comfort, me friends.
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to the sofa. It's freezing in England today, so we shall not be venturing into the back. We are staying in the nice, cosy, warm room.
Yeah, I had big heater on.
Big eater.
So, we just fancy being comfortable for once, actually. Them chairs back there are not good for the old back.
Don't want to be there for a long time. But today, we're doing Reddit reactions. We're not sure where it's going to take us. We're just going to...
We think we're going to start with just reading. I find like a thread, basically asking people what their most controversial horror opinions are. So we'll read them, talk through them, and maybe in some part of it, my brain will turn on and we'll tell you what ours are.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Let's get these up. You know, I've never on Reddit much.
I fucking love Reddit.
User.
But you're not a big Twitter user though, are you?
No.
See, I fuck with Twitter and I fuck with Reddit because it's just like Twitter on crack.
Yeah.
Someone said, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a mess of a film full of uninteresting, bland protagonists and poor pacing. It's the only classic that I'm really not a fan of, as I love the likes of Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, etc. I just don't get the appeal of it, outside of Leatherface, who is alright.
Yes, this opinion is controversial and wrong. It's not one.
I am wearing Leatherface on a t-shirt. What a day.
Just moving the mic a little bit away from Lauren for you all.
Sorry.
Okay.
That felt like abuse.
You don't edit your laugh cracks out.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Wrong?
Yeah, I think it's all wrong. I don't think it's got the bad pacing because it's tense right from the start. Like the van scene where they pick up, I never remember his name, but Leatherface's brother, and he's like really
mental,
weird, and he
like,
cuts his hand, and he's like, he sets a fire as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, like it's like the most crazy like van ride ever.
Yeah, and then obviously with Franklin, who's in the wheelchair, so you know that he's not going to be able to escape if something happens in the back with this crazy man. Like, how is that bad pacing? It's tense from the start.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go from that, like, then the gas station trope, that's tense, as always. It's very rare you see the turn back. You don't want to be going there thing. You can't really do that badly. They're always pretty tense. And then straight within, them arriving at the house within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Things are kicking off.
I'm gonna say that, like, the bit that most slasher films are. Texas a slasher? Not really, is it? I don't know how to describe it.
It technically would be a slasher though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I just think it was a slasher, maybe prepubescent to the birth of the genre.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. But yeah, but the stereotype of like the teenage gang. Like the gang of the teenagers,
Sorry,
those meddling kids.
That's exactly where I went to. I was like, Scooby-Doo, yeah?
But yeah, like the stereotypical stuff they're doing, like having sex and exploring the house. It's so short in that film.
Yeah, and it cuts straight to the action.
Yeah. It's not long, it's not. If it is long, it doesn't feel long, which also proves that the pacing is not
Texas
bad.
Chainsaw, it must be less than an hour and a half. Film in the
Probably,
70s,
yeah.
you know what I mean? You know my old people typing. Texas Chainsaw.
So as we saw this on a day that we did the horror movie marathon, the mystery one where we didn't know it was coming up, and it just felt so short and refreshing and such a kick towards the end of the day.
An hour and 23.
An hour and 23.
Yeah. Perfect length for a horror film, really, especially slasher film.
Yeah.
So good.
I kind of see like where they say like the protagonist doesn't have anything about them.
But they're teenagers, do you know what I mean? Like, and I was saying like it almost highlights like the stupidity of people. and then the fact in the first like what 3 people that Leatherface off, so he doesn't really have to do anything. They come to him.
Yeah.
And one by one, they just walk into that house, and he's just like, ah, you'll do.
Leatherface is also the ending. I know it's like the iconic. We see Sally like in the blood, like maniacally laughing. But when like Leatherface is just on the road, like
So funny.
it's like so good. And then he nicks himself. Obviously, it shows he's not like this indestructible thing,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's a great film. It's like one of my favorite horror films ever.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I'll give Leatherface some love. I'll always rep him.
Yeah.
He's just so baby girl, you know.
I think the first one's amazing. Unfortunately, I think the series is one of the weaker franchises we have.
Well, we read when we were like spitting ideas. We actually read that someone said that they think that the remake, the 2022 one, would be like top 3 in the franchise, which is fair. They were saying that like it was a controversial opinion, and they're like, oh, maybe it could be top 2 if you know, like if you give a decent argument. And I was like, I don't think you'd have to argue it that much because the first one's so iconic, and the ones after it are so forgettable and just bad that the remake came out and they didn't do a horrible job of it.
Oh, the remake side. I think the 2022 one is the Netflix one.
Yeah, but it wasn't the worst. I've seen worse remakes.
I did actually one of my favourite deaths in that.
So,
There's if you haven't seen it, there's a scene where Leatherface is killing someone, obviously,
what else?
and
would
he
you do?
snaps his arm so the bone's protruding out, and then uses the arm to like stick into the guy's neck,
Sick.
and it's it's gross. I love it.
But I mean, is it the worst remake though you've ever seen?
No,
Or like
there's nothing to it, but it's fine.
it's just some slasher in it. Like it is. You're watching for people dying. What story do you really need to be told?
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so we do not agree with that one.
Wow. What's next on the agenda? Yous are finding out as we are finding out, by the way.
I wonder how edited this is going to end up. Like, do I in?
This
Shall I
just has-
timestamp and you
This
can
hasn't been recording. No, like my thing.
Oh.
Is that on?
No. The light gone off.
Yeah.
No.
I wonder if I just. She's dying.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're dead.
We got 5 minutes, which was us just talking shit.
We're just gonna hope that this audio picks up.
Well, I said I could try just recording on my phone,
Just in case.
just in case. So I'll just get it recorded.
They shall
again.
be charged later.
Can you give us a little clap, please? Yeah, perfect. I mean, that's for you. It's not for me.
Yeah.
So the next like top comment is, I'm so sick of the monster being mental health or whatever. I just want the monster to be a monster sometimes.
You can have films like that.
Razorback.
Yeah, if you want natural horrors, they're out there. Yeah, the big beast sort of horror isn't my thing, so I don't know that many, but you know.
Well, it doesn't have to be big beast though, is it? Like if you're gonna count Gremlins, the monster's
Yeah,
just
I
a
think
monster.
it just means like even like a serial killer man.
Yeah, like I get it, because obviously you have like the Babadook, but it's not really a monster.
Well, if we think of stuff that's come out this year, I can't think of anywhere the monster was mental health. Terrifier wasn't, The Substance wasn't, Heretic wasn't.
But none of them are like monster
Validity
movies.
wasn't.
Do you know what I mean? They're not
Does this-
inherent monster. I think they mean like,
Where it's
like-
like you see, like the Babadook is a visual representation, but it's actual.
yeah, then you find out it's mental health. Whereas they just want,
They want like a creepy fictional monster.
yeah, they just want the monster to be a monster that's hunting you for no reason. Which is why I give Razorback as the example. And I hate that I know that film. I really do.
I thought it was good. I wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah, no, it was fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay for it.
I think the only
Again. I wouldn't pay for it again.
I think the thing that made that film good, if you don't know it, it's this one. I'll pop it up for you. We saw it in a mystery movie marathon, so we hadn't heard of it. The thing that makes that bearable, I think, is that it does have some human villains in it as well.
Yeah.
It's not just the beast, the Razorback. Oh, I just remembered the terrible scar in it where he's like, maybe that isn't a good film. I misremember.
Well, I don't know, like, what? I just, like, it's really hard, obviously, just reading comments, like, what do they mean by monster? Like, are they looking like Godzilla type things?
Yeah.
Because they exist.
Yeah.
Go watch Godzilla, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's really that many that are mental health
Yeah.
based. Because even like Hereditary, where it's all about mental health, it's not,
A monster.
yeah. But they also do show you something physical to represent it, not just,
Yeah.
it's in there.
But it was just never a monster, though.
Yeah.
I wonder if anyone's replied to
Big,
that
big
comment.
monster one.
Let's see if there's, like, some insight on this. Someone said, I just hated Gabriel. Fuck's Gabriel.
I'm not seeing Gabriel.
And someone said, you'd like the Babadook. I will read this. I was really excited for the Babadook, but I couldn't stand the kid in it and struggled to get through it, and haven't been able to bring myself to rewatch. He drove me up the wall. I love kids, but I thought the kid was the true bloody monster.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That is so true.
but yeah, but
I
obviously that's why it like
accepted
adds to her mental health issue, like burden though, because the kid's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't stand that kid. But that's the point, isn't it? He was supposed to be insufferable.
Like someone said, yes, and then sometimes those of us with mental health issues want to watch a horror movie without being reminded that the world thinks we're pieces of shit.
Ooh,
But, like,
don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that at all. Like any horror film I've watched where it has been mental health related, the people with the mental health issues don't come out looking bad.
Yeah. I'd love to know why they said that.
Eh? I'm just so confused. I'm really confuses me. Oh, someone said, I actually really enjoy jump scares. I know that a lot of people hate them and call them cheap, but they really get my heart pumping, lol.
Well, there's two types of jump scares, isn't there? There is cheap jump scares, and then there's well-earned jump scares, like the ones we
Oh,
like
yeah.
the ones in Caveat and Oddity.
Yeah, we were watching Caveat for the first time, and we were trying to watch it for ages. And it's very jump scary, like it is. Like we were literally squealing while we were watching it. We were actually almost devastated we didn't film us watching it for the first time. But sometimes we just want to watch movies. But like the slow, intense build up for like 10 minutes as well, might I add. Like this isn't just like jump scare like in every scene. Like a slow build up to one of the best jump scares you'll ever see. Like the woman.
Yeah.
The woman. Oh, please watch it.
Yeah, watch Caveat. It's great.
And yeah, we literally like almost like out of our seats was like, ah, what was that? It was really good. But then I suppose the counterpart to that would be like the shit jump scares. And like for me, that's Paranormal Activity through and through.
Yeah, it's a lot of the Conjuring universe. Not the Conjuring. I really like the Conjuring film, but
Yeah.
the rest of the universe just shit jump
Yeah.
scares. And if I see a trailer that just looks like jump scare after jump scare, I just won't watch it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that's what they enjoy. Like no one can tell you how to enjoy a film. It does get your adrenaline going.
That's the
and
point
your
of
heart
them.
pumping.
That's why it's why it's like known as cheap horror, because it's easy to do and the payoff from the audience would feel more worth it. It's like that stupid like scientifically scariest movies of all time.
Yeah.
Like, really, if we were to deep dive through that list, how many of them just mass-produced jump scares?
Yeah.
Because it was all like measuring heart rate. But obviously, like, an atmospheric horror isn't going to get your heart beating like you being physically like.
Shocked, yeah. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
I love a jump scare. I don't.
Oh, like a well-earned.
Yeah, I don't like them. Like, even the fake, like, no, like the false jump scares where, like, they make you think there's gonna happen. I'm like, looking between my fingers going, he's behind the fridge door. He's in the mirror. The quaking in my boots.
Oh, I think Oddity as well does the best variety of jump scares. Like, can you remember, I think the first one was when she was looking through the camera.
Oh,
so, like,
hell no.
the still image jump scare. And then we've got, like, the ones where you know something's coming, like the very end one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful.
Yeah, they I'd say there's, like, in Oddity, there was, like, four incredible jump scares. And they were all different.
Yeah.
So you never seen them coming. Like, you did, like, you'd be like, something's gonna pop up here. But it's not what you thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Like the still image one, not what I thought was occurring. So good. But yeah, watch both those films. We love them. If you don't like jump scares, don't bother. I'm telling you now. If you're gonna be here because you hate jump scares, you won't enjoy these films.
But they're all great stories, aesthetically great, really unique storytelling.
Yeah.
I think the only thing is because we watch Caveat then Oddity, and I
Correct
think
way.
the correct way. I think we predicted what was happening in the second one a lot more because of what we saw in the Caveat in the first one.
Yeah, we did think there would be a lot more crossover between the two films, and they're actually really different. Because in the trailer to Oddity, it makes you think it's going to be quite similar, like with the rabbit being shown in the trailer.
Yeah.
So we thought it was going to be kind of same kind of place, same story, like that kind of vibe, and it was just so different.
It was really cool though. Like, oh, this guy, I've forgotten his name already. We were literally just talking about him last week. The director, writer of them. This guy has like such unique vision. Oh, it's so great.
Damien McCarthy.
Damien.
I knew it was a
McCarthy.
Damien, but I had Leone stuck in my head.
Be.
So this person's controversial horror opinion is more about the fan bases rather than horror films. And it says horror fans have gotten... I'm going to rephrase that because that doesn't make sense. Horror fans have gotten too nitpicky for every major release, and their example was, if Texas Chainsaw was released today, there would be so many think pieces on how, like, the grandpa's 100 years old and lives on drinking blood, and how it's not realistic, it's never explained, or the character makes dumb decisions and it ruins the experience. So not everything needs to be nitpicked to death, just enjoy yourselves every once in a while.
I somewhat agree. I don't think it's just horror fans, I think it's just people.
I just think it's the access to the internet, obviously, is the difference.
Everyone gets an opinion these days.
But not even that, it's like you can put more time and effort into researching things. So like we're way more knowledgeable species now than we were obviously in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like information's at a touch of a button. And so if you're trying to go, like say you were trying to research a topic in a film you didn't understand and there was no information, it's now but you become easily frustrated because your knowledge is so easily accessible now.
Yeah.
Whereas like obviously back in the day you just went, oh nice.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
That's it, Brandon. And also like, yeah, horror movies like we have now weren't out in the 70s. So people weren't looking at it like something that they've seen a million times before. It was just this new piece of media that, I mean, for a long time, Texas Chainsaw was known as the most gory, brutal film out there. And there's no...
For a long time as well, like well into the 90s.
Yeah. And it's really not brutal at all. All the gore, most of it happens off camera.
Well, that's
Apart
what
from
we
the
said
ending.
when we rewatched it, because it'd been like long time since I'd actually seen it again. And I obviously was a child when I first watched it, and I just remember thinking, I was like, this is just not as intense as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Like, kill-wise, and obviously it's just because now I've watched a lot more horror films. So again, my knowledge has been broadened.
Yeah.
But I didn't nitpick it. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, when we do our reviews, we do sometimes like home in on something that annoys us. Like, for example, in Terrifier, we couldn't get over the fact that the morgue wasn't a morgue.
In the first one.
Yeah, because that just, it's something that just clicked in us. And so, yeah, I suppose you can call us hypocritical for being like, oh yeah, we don't nitpick, but little things obviously are just going to get to different people.
We didn't necessarily nitpick plot holes though, is what I find.
Yeah.
And we're nitpicking set design, which is, if you put the time and effort into it, pretty easily attainable for a lot of films. A morgue.
Yeah, but it was so low budget, that one.
They could have done, but I say no, but like think of it, they could have gone somewhere that had a walk-in fridge that had stainless steel walls. Like, they don't need a morgue or like a industrial kitchen. Just somewhere that has stainless steel stuff that would look, that would look,
like
you know what I mean? That would look like it would be sanitary and not just some basement in some dinky building where they filmed the rest of it. To then open on the second one to being in an actual morgue.
Yeah. Oh, we
That's the only okay. That's the only reason we're nitpicking on that, right? Okay.
But yeah, I think more often than not, we're just watching them to have a good time.
Yeah, as I say, like, if we're gonna keep using Terrifier as the example when it comes to like nitpicking plot holes, like the second one, how confused were we for like a long time?
Yeah.
But we didn't really overthink it. Like, we had some questions, but we just assumed that maybe if they're important, they'd eventually be explained.
Yeah.
And obviously Terrifier 3 goes into that a bit more, so we were quite happy.
Yeah.
But we just enjoyed the experience of watching films.
The confusion is also like a part of some films. I quite enjoy being like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, like an air of mystery.
Yeah.
I was like, we rewatched In a Violent Nature earlier, and when we first seen it was like a secret screening. And we were like, what the fuck is going on for like the first 40 minutes of that film? It's just a man walking in the woods and we were like, where is this going?
We knew nothing about that film before we
Never
saw
even
it.
heard of it. Like, nothing. There's no like other universes it could be linked to. Like, you couldn't fill in the blank. And In a Violent Nature, what did that mean?
Yeah.
So much so the cinema walked out because they were like, what does this mean? We're like, yeah, we get it.
Oh, there was a mass walkout just before the really iconic kill that won like at the Chainsaw Awards this year. Oh, they missed out.
They really did.
But yeah, and also like there's a lot of online critics now, so I think
Everyone's a hater.
everyone's a hater. I think if you want to go find an opinion that doesn't match your opinion about a film, it'll be online for you to rage at. But just try not to fall for the rage, man. Just have a good time.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a follow-on controversial opinions to do with the fan base. But it's like, horror fans are some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. That's not the controversial bit. Horror fans online can be some of the biggest pricks you'll ever meet. And I think just like ties in with the nitpicking and the gatekeeping. Because some people just truly believe that the horror community should stay as one horror community. They don't like the crossover. Like the true horror fans that hate a horror comedy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
and
like-
they can't, things that don't take themselves seriously, they're a bit like, it's not even horror.
Yeah, like, and they, like, a lot of, you see, like, in some niche people as well, like, not like in, like, an art house horror, because it doesn't have the blood and the guts and the gore that they associate with true horror.
Yeah, and there's also the flip of that, where, like, for some people it has to be art house and very artsy, and, like, if it's just pure blood and guts, are like, this is
Well,
just
yeah,
cheap.
well, I mean, that's the main thing, though, when you speak to a lot of people who don't like horror films, and I've said this myself, is, like, I don't like gore for the sake of gore. And I have said this in a previous film, whatever, that's video. suppose it's a film actually. And that would be the flip of what you were saying, like with people who don't like the blood and guts, they're like, what's the point? What's the story? You're just spilling blood for the sake of spilling blood. But for us, well, how have you done that?
Yeah.
What's the effects behind this? Is this practical?
Yeah, if something's practical, it gets big points.
Like that's why again why we loved the Terrifier. We were just like that looks awesome. I didn't give a shit about the story. I was just like, this looks so good.
I'm trying to think what was my favourite effect in Terrifier 3.
3.
3. Oh, you can say, we can do the whole franchise. What's your favourite? Actually, no, my favourite for the entire franchise is the Dawn's death in the first
Upside
one.
down, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that can be topped about that. Obviously, number 2 is the bedroom scene.
Not for me.
That do I mean iconically, it's the bedroom scene. People love it. 3. It's like I forgot everything that's happened in that movie.
There's so much that happened.
It's gotta be.
I think the iconic ones in this one are Snowman and Shower, aren't they?
Sharp, 100%.
Actually, I was very shocked at Shower.
Yeah, the whole way through. It was like, my mouth was like on the floor.
Yeah. Good on Mason for filming that,
Good lad. Nice lad. This says, you reading this, your favourite horror movie sucks.
Yeah, probably. A lot of people do have that opinion about mine.
Not mine. I know I have taste. Actually, you'll like this real one. I don't like Rob Zombie's movies at all. I can't stand them, which is kind of a bummer because I was and am a huge fan of pretty much all of his music.
I see that. I see them being quite polarising. They are quite nonsensical. Some are just they're just there for like the aesthetics.
I've seen half of one.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the half?
What was it?
House.
1,000 Corpses?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually I did. Unfortunately I had to leave before it ended. And I was supposed to finish watching it. I didn't. Tee. But I literally was saying to Kim, I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
I absolutely love what I've watched so far. Maybe we'll finish it later. That'd be nice.
Yeah, if you've got time.
Oh, this didn't tell me the time. This still isn't telling me. Yeah, I've got time.
But yeah, I think the Halloween Rob Zombies, I think they're a hard watch. They're a real hard watch. I actually started watching the first Rob Zombie Halloween on a night shift, and because of how vulgar and awful the beginning is, I was actually like, I can't watch this at work. Like, I need to turn it off because if someone comes in, like, I just don't want to be explaining this. So yeah, they do make you uncomfortable and they're a bit gross, and then on the flip side they can be nonsensical, so I get it.
I am not of an opinion yet.
he's not the best, but he definitely has a style. It's definitely unique.
Definitely not the worst director.
Yes.
Oh, this is a nice one to finish off. A horror movie doesn't have to be R-rated to be effective.
Oh yeah, 100.
Yeah, like how many good 15s are there?
Oh yeah, I can't think of any, but
Yes. I could tell you one that we don't agree with, but the population will. Wrong Turn. Like, the general consensus is that's a good, not R-rated film.
Yeah.
Not in this house. But the general public, you guys, seem to think that Wrong Turn's a good film. House of Wax?
House of Wax 15. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
That was really good, actually. Yeah, I really like that.
That's much more targeted to a younger audience, and that's great, and that makes me feel tense, and I think the effects on it are great.
There's no way Trick or Treat's in 18, right?
Yeah. Your brain's doing the same thing that mine did when I showed you it for the first time. Because I went, oh, this is like a kid's sort of.
I thought I literally thought it was like maybe a 15.
No, because we've got. When I was watching it with you for the first time, I was like, I see it now. But we've
It's
got.
actually an 18.
I don't know where my box is for it. It'll be in the other room. But it's got sex. It's got murder.
Sex is fine. It just can't be nude. So if they don't show it,
you see naked werewolves titties in it.
it's 15.
15.
Called it. Don't doubt me.
That's got some good violence for a 15.
Tasteful violence.
Yes. But yeah, it has got all the adult things.
Krampus.
Oh, Krampus.
It's very
Watch
effective.
this space for Krampus.
Yeah.
Shh, I'm not going to put that in. You can't give it away.
You can just beep it.
Oh, the mystery.
Apparently. Oh.
But yeah, I think horror films targeted at younger audiences can still be great. There'd have to be blood and guts and sex everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. I'm all for like a good atmospheric horror.
Yeah.
I love a tense, slow build up. Like violence is fun sometimes, but you just don't want it all the time.
Yeah. I like a nice balance of things.
Yeah. So it's not controversial, and we're done.